I'm Erik again, and here is another tool I use. And as much as I know this in my head, it's something that it takes a while for it to travel to my heart. And it's called the serenity equation or the peace equation. But let's start first with looking at the aspect of worry. So, what is a given for all of us is an unknown future. There are a lot of people that aren't even considering this fact. The fact is that we don't know what's going to happen in the next few minutes. We really don't know what's going to happen the next day or the next hour or even the next year. But a lot of us live our lives without ever considering that. We're just really in the present and just do whatever we do. And if we really err on that, we end up being almost, attention deficit, where we're not thinking about the consequences of our behavior. Some of us have too much thinking about the future. We're very honed in on it, like what if this happens, what if that, what if I end up in a rest home and my kids all die and no one will be there, what if the doctors were wrong at the lab and they find out that one of the cancer cells did squeeze by in the test. So, or didn't squeeze by. It just goes on and on and on. When we do this, and this is about worry, about anxiety, I can guarantee you that this is what we're looking at. Self-reliance. This is what the AA Big Book will talk about. That when it came to fears, that it was self-reliance failed us. So what if I get cancer? Well, how will I deal with that? What would I do money-wise? How would I deal with the treatments? Would it be awful? That catastrophic feelings because of self-reliance. I'm somehow trusting in myself. Often, this is a control approach. That I am trying to be in control of the uncontrollable. No one can control the future. Now I can influence it a bit. I could choose to go a different direction like a career, or I could choose to exercise, eat right, in hopes that my future would bring good health. But there's no guarantee of that. So it's really an illusion of control. Relationships with people, a loved one, we tend to worry about what if she leaves me, what if he leaves me, what are we going to do? And so they become very controlling. So another way to live one's life, to let go of control, we could call it surrender. Surrender to God. Faith in God, trust in a power greater than you, a power other than you. And there are lots of people that would struggle with the concept of God or the person of God or the concept of a power greater than themselves. What I would encourage them to maybe begin to do, because this isn't meant to be pushy, but this is just meant to be when you are struggling with this, just a power other than yourself. Going beyond yourself to reach out for help. That self-reliance, trying to control a panic attack in your own strength is not going to work. But even calling a friend, going to a professional, people begin to feel better just because they're not trying to control the uncontrollable. I believe the ultimate solution is faith in God. That only God knows what this holds. And this God is loving, kind, forgiving, compassionate, merciful. He is all-powerful, all-knowing, omnipresent. He will be there for any need you ever have. So say like you do get cancer, well, you will end up trusting in a power greater than yourself. to restore you to sanity, to help you, to guide you. Say like you're really frightened over a huge stressful set of events of people dying left and right in your family and your jobs teetering and there's no money and you don't have much sleep. Trusting and pulling back and letting go. Letting go is another good phrase here. Letting go. You're going to have peace. You're going to feel better, not perfectly well, not a high or an inebriation, but you're going to feel a peace inside that goes beyond your own understanding. And serenity is another word people use. We could also use the word okay. In the midst of all this situation, well, in this unknown future, you're going to feel like you can do this by God's grace, to put it precisely. You won't be doing this in your own strength. In the AA book it says our approach to our fears was to trust an infinite God rather than our finite selves. And this was the attitude that would help us to match calamity with serenity.